My name is Carla Parris and I am an entertainment lawyer. Well, I got involved in entertainment law really because I was working in the media industry at some point in time. I was already a lawyer at that point, but I wanted to kind of figure out what else, what other things there were, to do in the profession besides the civil and criminal. That tends to be how the profession is split in Trinidad, and I always had other interests. So I took some time off and I was working in the media industry in London, doing features, writing features for entertainment magazines, cultural magazines, interviewing people across that type of creative sector. Then when I came back to Trinidad, I was working in CNMG doing entertainment news clips for just under a year for the nightly news, and I interacted with a lot of people in the industry, a lot of artists, and that got me to realize that one of the major problems is that they do not treat their talents as a business product. They don't understand contracts, the value of contracts, and it's not being properly explained to people in the industry. And that is why I decided that I would specialize in intellectual property law and entertainment law specifically to sort of fill that gap and at the same time fulfill my own passion of working in the creative industry and with creatives, so to speak. People misunderstand intellectual property and they don't understand how to leverage it to get the proper value of their brand. For example, many companies don't register their trademarks. So they have registered their companies and got them incorporated, but they don't understand the difference between a company name and a trademark and how valuable that trademark is for merchandising, for whole value of different things, which could be really valuable intangible assets, untangible assets to your company. I've realized that, and there's a lot of exploitation as well that takes place in the industry across the board, whether it be in music and film and fashion and events management, because people are not understanding what their rights are. There are inherent challenges in this industry because it's been so unregulated. There are no standards in our industries. A lot of the challenges that I have are that people come to me without written contracts. So there are a lot of arguments between musicians or between whoever, producers, as the case may be. And one person may want the other person out to no longer be part of the company or to no longer be part of, producing the particular, track. But because there was no written agreement, the company was never incorporated, you had no partnership agreement, it's very difficult to decide now how to sever these ties in a clean and proper manner. That is really the basis of it. A lot of times I'm undoing messes as opposed to getting involved in lucrative deals which I think would assist the industry. For example, one of the goals that I have is to get people involved in synchronization deals. By that I mean people who are involved in music to link them to the film industry, because we have a very, very developing film and animation industry. So one of the things that I want to do is link local music to local film. But because many of the times these individuals are not properly set up, they don't have proper things in place to get these deals going, it's a lot longer and a lot more of a complicated process than I would have originally mapped out. But we're getting there. A lot of people are not made to sign contracts, right? So they get into what's called gentlemen's agreements. And many times if you are getting involved in an agreement with an artist who is considered more popular or has more leverage in the industry, there's a tendency to feel grateful or to feel, oh, I'm so happy that X, Y, Z wants to collaborate with me. So at the end of the day, when the track becomes big or whatever it is you were negotiating as well, it's very difficult now to discern what portion was supposed to be accredited to you, what rights were accumulated to the other person, and that's where a lot of times the exploitation takes place, because you may have had a larger piece of the pie, you may have contributed more, but because there was nothing in paper or you'd never sought legal advice, at the end of the day you end up going home with basically nothing many times, and that takes place quite often. I hear that all the time. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, that must be really easy. Oh, that's glamorous. That's not the case. Maybe in LA, or New York City, there certainly are exciting elements to it because I'm working with a lot of creative people, a lot of people doing good things in the creative industry. So that will always bring that positive aspect to my job. But it is extremely challenging in that, there are not many intellectual property lawyers, not just in Trinidad, but in the region as a whole. So quite often I have to draft precedents by myself. I have to seek help from experienced entertainment lawyers outside of the country. In fact, I spend a lot of my time on the internet reaching out to lawyers all over the world just because I want to build that network that doesn't exist here. I'm very grateful though that there is an entertainment lawyer by the name of Caron James. He was working in the industry for about 5 years. He's no longer practicing entertainment law per se. He's gone on to other endeavors. But he's very helpful to me. We work quite closely together if I need to bounce off a matter, specifically the music industry, and I'm grateful for that. But other than that, I largely am very much on my own in this field, kind of getting things from point A to B. I'm trying to get people to understand, the need to come to lawyers before the situation goes awry.